Okay, so this is going to be the first episode of this Errant talk thing that was suggested by the community. Um, some people in the community wanted me to host a little place where two or three or four errants can get together and just kind of chat. So the format for it is going to be um, like sometimes we'll have ones like the one today is just free form. It's whatever you want to talk about. In fact, I think we're going to start with a subject that Jamie is going to start with. Has to do with AI and stuff like that. So we'll get started with that and see where it goes. Free form. We're just going to kind of do our thing on this one. Now we will come back on subsequent episodes and maybe stick to Archaix topics and stuff like that. But that's not this one. But all right, so a couple of names that y'all are probably familiar with: Jamie Robbins and Jahara Lee. If you're in the live chats, you know that they've been moderators in there for a long time. They're both really really cool people, very intelligent. I know them both personally, and they are truly truly good people. So hey, welcome on.
Try. I try.
I'm
Oh,
blushing.
I can't
Making
hear
me
you,
blush.
Jahara.
Because I said it quietly. I said, I try.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, all right. So I'm gonna switch over to this little haha. All right. Ooh, that was like
Okay.
magic. Did you see that? That was magical.
No, it's magic.
um, yeah, it's like I'm a wizard.
That was a good
So
intro, John.
yeah, so AI. So whenever you say that you wanted to start with the with AI as a subject, like it's very general. So like
Yeah.
specifically what about AI uh do you want to start with, Jamie?
Well, I mean, everybody has their own perception of what AI is, and I guess, um, I guess everybody's right in their own right, in their own mind, the way they think about AI. I mean, you got like AI that's in the movies and on TV, and then you got like the AI in the computer world with like your nerds and your geeks and your programmers and all that kind of stuff. And then I was chit chatting with Sabrina Wallace the other day, and she's like, she's on a whole nother level as far as human intelligence. When she was young, her family were I think it was her grandfather was like, I'm really high up. He was a Rosicrucian. They're evil fucks, is what they are. But and
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, they're just they're pieces of shit. But she had a lot of stuff done to her when she was a child. Um, that almost done to her by her own family, I mean, like her grandpa and her grandmother and mother and father and stuff. And it's like I'm trying to think of the word that she. Oh, um, she claims to have been augmented. In utero. I don't know if that was done through medicine or um, injection or whatever. I'm that much into it, but she talks about stuff that's way over my head, and I kind of got a grasp on some of it. But her basic stance is that everything that we know of AI is grossly behind. Like they're like at least 50 or 60 years ahead of what the normal concept of AI is, and
So
it's
what
been
you're talking about
weaponized.
is like the Chat GPT and
Yeah,
the different like
everything.
AIs that we have now that are doing very
Yeah,
impressive things.
yeah.
You're
It's like
saying they're far
it's like
more
child's play.
advanced,
Oh yeah,
really.
they have. She talks about there's like four different levels of law enforcement. You have like your street cops, you beat cops, and then your highway patrol, and then you have like your investigators, and then there's like two levels that are like completely underground, like your black ops in the military and stuff. And she talks about stuff how they've weaponized um, our own bodies against us. How they got they got like all of our internal organs on chipsets and stuff. Um,
That's pretty
that
cool.
everybody has their own biofield. They're born with it, and it's also called your aura. And her stance is it's actually a human body part. It is a defense mechanism. It's our natural immune system. And over the years, over like the last 200 or 300 years, it's been pretty much completely stripped away from us and dumbed down and altered through medication and through pharmacia and through deceptions and all this kind of stuff. I mean, she's so intelligent. It's like she starts getting on these rants the way Jason does, and she gets going and she's talking about all these little 3-letter meanings, and she just I don't understand half what she's talking about, but the way that she talks about it, it's like it's pretty hard to dispute, even though I don't understand what the fuck she's saying. And she talks about how they have the ability. It's like every person on Earth now is like a walking connection point, or like a nodal point, or like they can connect wirelessly now through everybody. I mean, and that has all kind of aspects of good and bad, but the way she's talking about it, it's all bad. Like they can have,
Oh,
and it starts with like um your home Wi-Fi. It's like all these wires that are run through people's homes and stuff, and then that acts as like some kind of grounding base, and they can send like a drone 2 miles up in the air that you never know is there, and they can literally like target specific individuals and click a button and like make people's heart stop. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like a mini EMP
Yeah.
to attack certain. But yeah, I mean, and it just goes so deep and it's so nefarious and it's beyond any and everything that people think that we're actually capable of. I mean, it's scary. I mean, there really is no privacy anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean,
so I was
they,
actually talking to a guy the other day that I correspond with pretty regularly. His name's Justin. He's in the Archaix community and stuff. And so we were talking about, he was saying that a friend of his was in the hospital and was like messing with their phone, and it was like showing when this specific person would walk in through the door, like this specific like nurse
it's
or,
like a,
or doctor or whatever
it's
would like it would show up as like a Bluetooth,
exactly,
or a Wi-Fi signal that was available on their phone,
it's
and
a
he
specific
said that
number that
it would
everybody's
do
got.
it
Yeah.
well. And so the weird thing is it would come up, and then like he tried it again later with the same person, and it wouldn't come up. But then he tried
Mm-hmm.
it again, and then it started happening again.
Hmm.
So it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know. Like, you think that there's a reason why sometimes that signal is available and sometimes it's not?
Well, um, they're trying to get the human population on this medical thing. It's called med health, and it's like a, a person's in like their medical records and everything are kept on a chipset, and they can diagnose you with, say, cancer years in advance before you even have cancer. I mean, I think a lot of it is a bunch of hooey dooey, but the it's being used. Um, she's big on they're not telling the public how they've gotten to the point that they've gotten to. Like there's no explanation of the studies being done and the data being collected and like the I don't have that analytical mind to explain what I'm trying to say, but they have the ability to control like entire cities of 2, 3, 400,000 people through one specific person and through one. It's like, it sounds like something out of a movie. It's like a certain group of people will have these remotes and they send these I don't know if they're EMF
Like
waves
signals.
or yeah, and it harms the human body. It's like it tears down certain parts of a person's body, and it's like long-term suffering. It's like people get sick, and she explains how they've got the ability to cure all diseases, cancer. They go in and they restructure a person's electrons and their DNA. It's like kind of like origami. They go in and they can like fold up and restructure a person's cells in their body to either get rid of a cancer or a virus, or they can give them a certain virus, or they can give them a certain type of cancer. I mean, it's really deep, and
It almost sounds like what they're doing is they're going in and they're like reprogramming the body, like the body is programmable, which
Yeah.
would
it
kind of fit,
is.
in with the simulation
It,
stuff,
Yeah,
So
I agree with that.
she
Because
was
I
talking.
don't believe in evolution. I believe in adaptation. And that could also be programming. The same.
what's the difference between evolution and adaptation?
I think
Can be kind of the same
evolution
thing,
is
or?
like kind of like when you, I don't know, like evolution is like they make it seem like it's like this over time thing, but like it's not even about that. It's just I feel like it has to do with like whatever your environmental settings are, you're just gonna like just adapt. Like it's not like, oh, like we're not all doing it like I mean we are, but like that's probably why you have when you look in the past, there's so many different like, we got this type, like when like, cavemen, or like when, you got like the Australopithecine, you got Cro-Magnon, you got, Homo
Oh, so
erectus.
you're
Then
saying
you
like
think,
all the little subsets and
yeah,
stuff like
but
that,
you
like the
see, but
little break-offs.
the thing is like you learn or whatever, maybe they just didn't have a better understanding of it, that like, oh, these like different species of humans existed over different courses of time, but like no, they were actually like a lot of them were here at the same time. And they've
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were
That's the
here at the
thing, is
same,
like,
so they were running around, like these ones were over here, these ones were over there, so it's like something was going on where the climate or something was different where they were at, so these ones adapted that way. Just like when you get in water and your hands, your fingers get all wrinkly, you're immediately adapting to the water. So it's kind of like that. Like I don't believe it's just like, oh,
you're
evolution over
saying
time will just,
it's not a million year process. It's like
no, it's just the like
it's a
whatever
fairly
your
fast
surroundings
process
are
of
process.
adaptation.
Yeah,
I
like
got you.
yeah. So I mean, like
So
if
what you're
something's
saying is like,
happening over here and not over there, like we're gonna like adapt to it. We didn't like evolve. We just adapted to like this, and that's why,
so like
that's
you're
what I
saying that
think.
those
I have
adaptations can be
nothing to
like
back that up. By the way, these are just
so
my
you
thoughts.
don't need anything. Yeah, you don't need
I
anything.
don't have
This
sources,
isn't a database
and
thing.
even if I did, I wouldn't remember who they were or what exactly they
Right?
said.
Yeah, no, I don't. I
So don't
definitely don't
expect
have
that from
Jason's
me.
mind. I don't have
A lot
Jason's
of it is
mind
just me
for
thinking.
names and dates and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no, yeah.
so
Like, and this
to
is
just
just
kind of
totally
like
out of
tie
my head.
what so
It's
to
like
tie what the both of you were like talking about together, like, so you're saying these adaptations, and then you're saying that they can actually make changes to the body through these signals. It's almost like they can program an instant adaptation into the body.
yes.
Yeah, and I think, and some I think already are programmed in,
So
like
they already exist. They just
the
got to
water
flip them
thing,
on, maybe.
like the water thing. That's already
I
programmed
got
in
you.
all of us,
You know these
Yeah.
videos that you've seen like over the last couple of years of these people that are just out in random places in the public, and like they're waiting in line at a gas station or something, and they'll look up and then and then just completely just fall out. And
I
like,
haven't
Oh
seen
yeah, or
that.
like freeze
I've
completely,
seen the ones
and
that
stuff. Yeah, I've
freeze.
seen.
yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen the ones that freeze, but not the ones that fall. But that would be interesting
And
to
like
see.
That'd be funny to
on this
see.
Yeah.
on this past Halloween, there was like a group of people that were like circling, like walking in a circle for like hours, and nobody knew why. It was just a strange phenomenon. And there's videos of just random people like carry on conversations with people beside them, and they, for some reason, they all look up in the air like they're looking at something, and it's just like you click a switch on them. It's like
Oh my
they
God,
just
there's
fall out,
a Twilight Zone
completely
episode
dead.
like that, a newer
And
one.
that's people being attacked with these remotes or wherever. It's like they shut down a certain part of their, like their heart or their brain, or
That's why the
explodes.
chemtrails have the metal particulates. Breathing in the
Yeah,
metal particulates, it makes it easier
that's
for,
something else.
and the fucking getting the fucking you got all this
She
metal in
was
you now, and they're fucking hitting you with some frequencies.
she was talking about they have
It's
the
fucking crazy.
ability, the smart dust, like people think that uh, only the people that have been jabbed or vaxxed are
Hmm.
vulnerable to this supposedly thing that's supposed to be coming, and that's not true. She went into this big spiel about um this thing called smart dust, and it's
Hmm.
got to do with like the chemtrails and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it's what it is pretty
yeah,
much.
and
It's full of
they
metal
have the
particulates.
ability to like steer certain molecules, like weather molecules and stuff, and they can
Yeah,
like specifically direct this stuff in certain people or in lots
yeah,
of
like
people.
probably
And
emitted through like sound waves, EMTs.
yeah, I mean, it's really, really, I mean, it's just evil. That's the only thing I can. And supposedly they've had this stuff, and it all stems from regular jobs that people have, like college professors and these kids that they go to school for years, and they get out of school and they go to these jobs that they do that they really don't have a clue what they're really doing
Yeah.
as far as just. And it's like su- it's such a broad thing now that it, it's just jobs that people have, but the jobs that these people are doing is killing millions and millions and millions of people. It's killing humanity, really. That's what,
Yeah.
I guess that's their end goal through AI. Is they always say they're doing it for good. They're doing it for to make these med beds, or they're doing it to
In the name
cure
of science.
cancer, or yeah, and they never do. There's nothing ever good comes from it. It's always something bad, and
Yeah.
people in the public are just blind to it because
Yeah.
they just don't know what they're capable of. And
Yeah.
from the stuff I've seen, it's and they've had it for so long. I mean, it's been going on since like World War II, like in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
They, they've actually been inside people's bodies, fucking mucking around with stuff, and that's weird. It's scary
Yeah.
to me.
It's
Oh,
weird.
Yeah, that's fucking scary.
let me clarify what you're saying as far as like the connection between the people that are doing it and the AI. Are you saying that these are like AIs that these people are like taking orders from or just getting ideas from? Um, like is the AI selling them like, hey, if you do this, it's going to help people, and they're doing
It's
it, and it turns out that it's not helping people, or is it more of a, you know, are they being
it's
fooled by an AI, or are they the actual sinister, people that are behind, the
it's
AI itself?
I think there's some people that are like probably using it or like,
oh
getting,
yeah,
like for bad shit. But I think the majority of the people that are doing it, they just want to like, they want to see like, how far they could go, what they could do. But I think a lot of people have a lot of good intentions with it. I mean, it's just,
it's got a lot to
it's
do with wealth and money, and
yeah,
it's got a lot to do with this blockchain and stuff. I mean, people are making millions and billions of dollars off of other people's body parts and how they're manipulated. It, it's got everything to do with life extension,
yeah.
and
That's
it's
what I
got
was
everything
gonna say
to
too.
do with um money, making money. These
Yeah,
people in these corporations are making ungodly amounts of money off of.
you want to live forever,
Yeah, they had, that's their end goal
make more money.
is life extension. They're
My
trying
light went
to bypass the judgment of God. They think that they're above that. That they think that um
out.
they can live forever and not have to have a judgment day for all of their past bad doings or whatever. And to me, that's the epitome of evil right there. I
What
mean,
if that's
everybody
what
has.
God was?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. They think
He's
they
like,
can
I'm not
bypass
supposed
that.
to. I'm not supposed to. Like, yeah, maybe like God's just more advanced and like no, like knew how to like create people. I used to think like we were like robots when I was a kid. I used to say, "Oh my gosh, why do we have to have all these parts in us? Like, and if something's not working, like then we're not working or we'll malfunction." I used to tell my mom like when I was little, I'm like, "It's like we're robots, right? We're robots." But
I tell
like I
you,
think we're just the we like we're doing all this shit with AI and trying to make these robots and shit to do this and that, but it's like and we think like, oh, look how far we've gotten, but it's like, dude, we're like the most advanced piece of technology. We are like
yes,
technology. We're just
exactly.
like, look how far ahead like whoever made us was, that we're like made of organic. We're like organic robots.
Well, the main piece
Yes,
of evidence that points towards what you're saying is
All
the
in my
fact
head,
that
like this just coming from my
well,
head.
that's the thing though. So is like the main piece of evidence that points towards it though is every robot, every AI, every super advanced piece of technology that we have available to us all emulates the human body, be it
Yeah,
the body itself with the robots or our brain with the AI. Because what is an AI? It's just
I
a
used to
set
think we
of
were AI. Like, I
neural
mean, that's
connections,
scary to me.
like
Like, what if we are
an
AI?
AI, like an AI itself is just replicating a human brain as
Yeah.
closely as they possibly can. And the closer they get to it, the better the AI is.
Well, they say in the Bible that like God made you in his likeness. Then when you look at what artificial is, it's like when you make something that's like you. So we are, in a sense, artificial versions of him.
Yeah.
AI. We're like advanced AI, super advanced beyond what we are. We could even do on, beyond like what we can like even wrap our minds around. And it's like, this is all
Well,
coming from my head. I have no,
like
this just
I agree
I
with
get
that.
this is
the
just me. This is
so
just what goes on in my head.
the only thing that kind of like turns me off on like the things that you guys are saying is like you keep using like the word God, and
Well,
so
I'm just saying it
I
like,
don't
you
necessarily
know,
believe that like God has to
I
be
don't think, yeah, no,
some
I'm
like
just
some
using it as a frame of
overarching.
reference, in a sense.
Yeah,
And, it's
it's
not,
a
I'm
yeah,
not religious. I
but
never went to church.
well, my thing though is like it could just have been uh an advanced version of us, like from the
Hmm.
far flung future or from the very, very distant past
Well, it could be
that
both
that
at
are
the same
more
time.
or both.
They had to
I like
start
both like
somewhere.
that.
Maybe there's some humans that have well, I don't want to say the word evolved because I don't want to insult you, but maybe they have adapted beyond the need for things like time and they exist all at once. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
my God.
right. So that's the thing is like these advanced civilizations from our distant past that we view as our distant past could very well be the exact same people that are in the distant future. So
Yeah,
um
for sure. I've thought
so
of
that's
that
the
too.
thing is
It probably is.
well, and so if you talk to um any kind of like scientist, be it the astrophysicists, even on down to like biologists and stuff like that, uh they always they never say that they invented the things that they always say it's a discovery. Like we
Or
discovered
founding.
this. This is something
Yeah.
that, yeah, like this is something that existed. We just didn't know about it because we hadn't
Yeah.
discovered it yet.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Got
Is like
found.
science is a system of discovery. It's not a
Mhm.
system of invention necessarily. So that's the thing. Is like if there was in fact, some sort of outside of time advanced civilization that
Mhm.
say they created the simulation, they would seem like God to us,
Of course.
who are stuck within this like timeline, right?
Mhm.
And this concept of time. So if that is what exists outside of this concept of time, then like that would be God. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a human. Maybe it's just like
Yeah.
people
Maybe it's
that
just
have
like some
discovered.
dipshit, like fucking Oz, like just some
And then that's
short
the thing is
dipshit.
like if it's true, it would make sense that outside of time, all things exist at once. So when us who experience things within time, when we make these discoveries, it is a discovery because it already existed, right? So
Mhm.
these things exist without outside of time. We discover them within our timeline and drag that thing that exists outside of our experience into our experience.
Okay,
So
that's whoa. Whoa.
Oh, you're talking about in real time, right? Like I'm being able to like manifest things in real time, right?
almost. So I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like manifesting necessarily.
Well,
It's just whenever somebody puts their energy towards a certain practice or study, you
yeah.
know, they it doesn't it takes like an egotistical person to say that I invented something, what I mean, in
Hmm.
science. Like usually, like I say, it's some sort of discovery. It's like, hey,
Exactly.
I studied this for a long time, and based on this I discovered that this is a part of our universe or whatever, or this is a part of our biology. Like I discovered it, it already existed, it was already there. I
Yes,
can just prove that it exists now
Yeah.
you know
that's a
um
big part of the trickery that goes on and has gone on for a long time in this world. It's, I mean, the people or the entities that are truly in control of this construct, they're, they've been manipulating us humans for time immemorial. I mean, it's like all the phenomena that's happening. I mean, like the orbs and the UFOs and the aliens and the Diddy and the Epstein and all of that, every bit of that stuff is nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's just something to keep the vast majority of people's attention away from whatever they don't want it on,
yeah.
like AI or um anything. Like I don't give two shits what happens to Diddy. I don't care about
Me
he
either.
did to Epstein Island. I don't
Yeah.
that that stuff don't register. I don't give a fuck. I
Yeah.
don't care. I mean, and what baffles me is that stuff that people see and read and hear about. I mean, it consumes their life and it alters their life in such. I just don't understand. I
Because it
can't
alters their
grasp.
perception of reality.
I can't
well
freaking grasp
so
that level of
the
dumbness. I mean, come on
Well,
now.
so this is the thing though, Jamie, is like you got to view it from a different perspective. Like these are people that haven't been introduced to the concepts that you've been introduced to. So the only they are searching for something and they're searching for a pattern within it. And the only things that they have access to is the things that are in the media, the things that are right in front of them. So like and then you got to think too, like, you've got your job that's taking your time up. If you've got a wife and kids, you've got that taking your time up. So you've only got this small amount of time that you can dedicate towards finding out what's going on in this world. So
Yeah.
there's so much information out there that's like poured into your phone. When you open it up, all you see is Diddy and Epstein and this and that. You know what I mean? The things that everybody sees.
Yeah.
So you get hung up on that because, okay, if this is what's being, shown to me, I've got to find the pattern within it so that I can continue my journey. But the thing is it's an endless stream of bullshit, and they get caught up
Yep.
in it. So it's
Well,
not that
because it
they're any
uses
dumber
also,
than,
there's also like an algorithm. So whatever it is that you're talking about or
yeah,
watching, it's gonna just feed you that shit
it's going to
over and
feed you
over and
more. And
over.
then so,
Yeah. So
like,
they're not
if
gonna.
it's not Epstein, it's
Yeah.
Murder Hornet. If it's not Murder Hornets, it's fucking the Hawk Tuah girl. If it's not the Hawk Tuah girl, it's the
Mm-hmm.
fucking, the
Yep.
uh the Diddy stuff. If it's not Diddy, then it's fucking R. Kelly peeing on some young girl
Yep.
or something. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
this endless stream of nonsense that they get caught up in the hopes that they'll be able to like find some deeper meaning in it. And they just, what it is it's not that they're any dumber than anybody else. It's just that they're ignorant. And I can look,
Yes.
it's ignorance is cool. Ignorance is cool. Stupidity, I have a problem with because
Yeah.
stupidity is willful ignorance. You're
It's
choosing to be
willful
ignorant.
ignorant. Yes.
You know what I'm
I
saying? So
think.
like that's the difference. So it's not
I
that these
think
people
it's
are
on.
stupid or even stupid. They're ignorant and they don't have access to the things that they need to take that next step. But look,
Well.
but it's all in their own time, Jamie. Like what
Yeah.
Jason was always talks about. You're not here to save them, and you're not here to save this
Oh, I
place.
know
So
exactly.
that, and they won't accept it until they're ready to accept it. So you could even show them the information that you have and show them the places that they can get better information. But until they're ready for it, they won't even accept it. And they'll be stuck in their little cycle. And like I say, it's not because they're dumb, it's because they're ignorant.
Yeah. Ignorant is
All
just
right.
like closed mind. Ignorance is a closed
Well,
mind. In a
Check
sense.
this
it's
out.
not that they even have a
No,
closed mind so much. It's that they're stuck. They're just stuck in this endless pattern.
Yeah.
And
I
it
can.
just keeps feeding them more and more things to keep them distracted.
Let me expound on that right there. Um, these secret societies like the Illuminati and the Rosicrucians and the Pilgrim Society and all that stuff. People don't uh, realize these orders are ancient and they are all based on um, human manipulation. They figured out in the early 1600s there was a rabbi, Rabbi Sabtai Zevi, Sabtaazevi. He figured out, and this is in the 1600s now. This is what 400, 500, 600 years ago. He figured out that I'm fishing to go deep here now. Through ritual and relentless sodomy, they were able to hit a certain part inside the anal cavity that is directly connected to the pineal gland. Okay. And in their rituals, when that spot is hit, it's called the diamond. That's the reason they're always making the diamond sign. That's what it really stands for.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
Yeah, it's true.
That's probably why
When they
aliens
hit,
like probe people.
yeah, when they hit that spot
I'm serious.
at a certain level, at a certain level of ritual, it shuts down the part of the esophagus that allows a human to breathe.
Mm.
That's why they're always referencing that song, "Take My Breath Away" or whatever. It happens during this ritual where they actually die for a short period of time, and it causes brain damage. It literally destroys their pineal gland, which makes them completely incapable of having any sort of empathy, how to understand love, trust. I mean, all of the things that really make a human I mean, it's gone. It's destroyed. They're literally brain damaged for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And
So
at that
what it sounds
point,
like to me is what they're doing is they're destroying. And now, like, look,
I
I
just gotta
don't
let
get
the
into
cat
the
out of
whole
the room.
chakras, like the whole chakra thing, but like what you're describing is like, that chakra that is down in the bottom of your gut. They talk about there's one
uh-huh,
there. You have your throat chakra, and then you have the
uh-huh,
one in your head. So
uh-huh.
what you just described sounds like by destroying one, it moves on and destroys the one in the throat,
It
and then
shuts
it
down the whole
moves on and
system.
destroys the one in
Yes,
your pineal gland, right? So
yes.
whether you believe in chakras or not, I don't necessarily
I don't
believe in
either.
that
I don't
particular
either.
thing, but I believe that there is a system within our body that connects
It's
us
in
to
the
something that
spine.
is outside of this. We have this avatar that we live in, and it's our nervous system that is our link between the
Yep.
avatar and the thing that is beyond.
Uh-huh.
So it's the link, right? So that nervous system is that chakra type system. So
Yep.
if you can destroy a bundle of, say it's just nerves, in the anus, like you're saying, you destroy
It's
that
the
one. Well,
spine that
that
they're
will
trying to get
cause,
out of
yeah,
line.
yeah. So it travels up, and it would destroy yet another bundle of nerves, say here
Yep.
in your throat. Then that would go on and destroy the pineal gland. So
Uh-huh.
so it kind of, in a way, it makes sense what you're saying. Like, I don't know if I'm 100% on board. I have to hear a
Yeah.
little bit more, but but yeah,
Well, the
like
reason
there
that I
is
said
some
that was
some some like
is
grounding and truth to this.
well, see, people like a while ago, I was making a point about people are dumb or whatever. Or when that happens to that particular person, their part of their brain is damaged. It's not going to be repaired. It can't be repaired. It can't be fixed. So that person is you could bring them all the proof in the world about whatever, and it's never going to click with them. It's like they work for the mono eye system, money. That's what they call the mono eye is the money thing on the back of the dollar bill. That's what their whole life is dedicated to is the system of money, which is not real. It's fake. It's paper. But they're brain damage, and they're really they're they're dangerous human beings because they're altered. They're broken, and they will defend their system of money. What it is the people that actually have real wealth in this world, uh, uh, they have the right to attain that wealth from the person or the people who run the show. If you haven't been ritually sodomized or through them rituals to where they have control of you, you're not. They get all of their wealth for doing evil things. It's like the Jacob and Esau story. They really believe that they are born through sin and from evil because when they're young and they're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old and they're getting pounded in the ass every single day, it it breaks them. It really does. It fractures a part of their brain where they're damaged, and then they're raised in a system that I mean, I, I could talk about it for days and days and days and never get to the end of it. It's almost like another rabbit hole, but it's not a rabbit hole. It's really what's going on in this world. It's really how evil this place has
How
gotten.
many, if you had to like put a percentage on, like, what percentage of our world's population are you know
Okay,
exposed to these rituals, like
okay.
what percentage would you say?
The Dutch people, the Netherlands, is at least 90%. They're all clones. They're all clones. They're generational clones that have, for the last 600 years, that's what I was talking about earlier. These people, they bypass the creator and their judgment for everything that they've done. It, it has a lot to do with this rabbi. He figured out that they would, there was a group called the Knights of the Golden Fleece. The Golden
Okay.
Fleece is the amnion uterine sac in all females. It creates life. That's why they are a brotherhood. They hate women. They hate anything that has to do with feminism. That is their end goal, is to destroy all women. Then they want to destroy all single gender people. They want this world for themselves. And they, through generational incest and intermarital rape for hundreds and hundreds of years, they destroyed their own natural ways of procreating and having children. So they owned all the wealth in the world. So they started genetically altering the human genome. And after several hundred years of doing this, they perfected the art of creating the androgynous human being, a person that is born with a pecker and a vagina. They're literally hermaphrodites, yes.
Yeah.
And they are a certain race of people. A family that runs it all, I'm talking about that runs the whole world, is the royal family of the Netherlands, the Dutch king and queen, Willem Alexander and his wife, Maxima. They, he, it's got a lot to do with symbolism. Well, pretty much everything, but what they do is they learned how to, they would rape the female, and after getting her pregnant, they would then kill her, and they would take her amnion uterine sac out of her. They would cut the nucleus out of it, and they would extract stem cells from either another man's shit, poo, or whatever. Like in all these 16th century artworks and stuff, you'll see the strangest things. You'll see people dressed up in all these fancy clothing, taking shits everywhere, taking shits on people, or like pooing in the street, or it's just weird. What they were doing was taking, that's where the stock market really originated from. Stock in Dutch is ass. It's the ass market. They would trade. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, they would trade their anus parts or the shit as a stock, and that's how they would pay it off, or whatever through that means, or whatever. And that was the origination of the stock market. But
so you're saying
then they
like
would,
the people that are not a part of this program or whatever, they would use
no,
their
they would take the stem cells from either, they would dig up some relative or whatever, their brother, their sister, whatever, and through bones, they would get the stem cells out of the bones, and they would put it with this amnion nucleus. I'm not a scientist, I don't know the proper terms. And they would literally make a human being through artificial means from the stem cells along with the amnion uterine sac, and they would create an actual human being. But it's not, it's like the story of the Immaculate Conception. That's all it is. Jesus was a clone that came from some DNA from some dead motherfucker. I mean, that's where it all started from. And that's the story of Tammuz. And that's the story of Jesus Christ. And that's the story of freaking Genghis Khan and his lineage. It all goes back to that. And that's what's progressively over the years through all these Masonic fuckers and secret societies, they have really taken control of the world through cloning the human genome family. And now it's gotten to the point where all members of Congress, all your royal families, all your Senate, not just in America, worldwide, all your royalty, all the wealth, it's really people that have been made through artificial means, and they literally live forever because whenever you take a person's DNA from their stem cells in their bone and you put it into another nucleus, they live forever. I think it's bullshit. I don't believe it. It's not, but
So so what you're saying is like their DNA lives forever, like they,
exactly.
but
And
like
when
not
they're young,
necessarily like their mind and the things that they know
exactly.
and retain or whatever. I got you.
But that's how they, whenever this child is getting abused through all these rituals stuff, they really make that person believe that they're 6, 7, 800 years old. And then that person takes on that persona, and they give them all the wealth in the world and all these important jobs and kings and queens and presidents. And it's literally, that's where it all stems from. And that's why the world is in the situation that it's in right now, because the actual people that only
They're like
you know,
reincarnating themselves.
exactly, you know, the
Yeah,
bags like
I've thought of that and like watched and read some stuff like kind of about that. Not like
it's
to the extent of
crazy.
how you're explaining it, but it makes sense how you're explaining it. But basically, just kind of like, yeah, like that's how people stay in the position that they're in. The 1%,
Exactly.
they're reincarnating themselves and training that reincarnation that they are this person that they keep they are them that they're reincarnating
Yeah.
over and over so they could have continue to carry on like
Yeah.
kind of like bloodline, just remaking themselves to stay in
It's
control.
like the pictures that you see of like certain famous people, and there's like a 300 or 400 year old picture of somebody, and it looks just like them or whatever.
The Keanu Reeves time traveler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've
Uh,
seen those. Yeah.
um, a lot
There's
of
like
those,
quite a few of them that are like dead
a
on.
lot of them are actually
Yeah,
real because
yeah.
it's the same DNA. It's not the same person. I
Hmm.
mean, they don't see through that person's eyes
Yeah,
300 years
yeah.
later, but they
Yeah,
make
it's not
them
the same
believe that. Yeah, and
personality.
that's
Yeah,
exactly,
it's just the
exactly.
same. Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
it is very crazy, and it's actually ancient too because it it started sometime way back in the Far East, and this is where it has a lot to do with simulation theory and the Phoenix too, is because this technology or this knowledge gets wiped out through cataclysmic events like the Phoenix. And I personally think that the true purpose of the Phoenix happens, it comes to wipe the slate clean. And
Yeah,
that true purpose is wiping out the androgynous beings of this world, this realm, because they're abominations. They're not
yeah.
the true creation, the man and the
Destroy
woman.
them and destroy the evidence.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
it's like the archons get too big for their britches, and the Phoenix comes in and sets everything back. But this knowledge is rediscovered over and
Yeah.
over and over again. And I think that's what those ancient handbags and the reliefs that you see in Sumeria and Akkadian and stuff
I
in
used to
those
think they were like
bags.
batteries. They were like wireless chargers
I,
for whatever they had.
it,
That's
I
what I
mean,
used to
with
think they were.
the narratives and stories, I personally think it again goes back to the Jacob and Esau story. Esau gave Jacob his birthright, and that's why he hates his own brother for doing that. I think in those bags, it again, those bags contained the golden fleece, the amnion,
Mhm. What
human
was about
sac.
I told you,
That's how the VOC.
Jonathan, about the golden fleece thing. Like, how did I know that? Like, wasn't it you I was telling? Like, or maybe it was my mom. Or I
You
was
had
like,
mentioned
wasn't
it
Jason the
to me
Argonauts something
before, but
about a
like,
golden fleece?
Jason and the
um,
Argonauts. Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's what they were like on the hunt for, or something like that. Was the
yeah,
golden fleece?
yeah.
Exactly. That's how the VOC, the Dutch VOC, the Dutch East India Company, the shipping guilds, that's how they got so wealthy. It's the wealthiest company to date. in the history of humanity. They got so wealthy by selling and trading these amnion sacs to produce cloned human beings in every port in the world for a couple of hundred years. And that's how they amassed such amount of wealth. Because people were just, that's where all these orphans come from, supposedly. People were just making human beings or cloned people for personal use, for selfish reasons, like to work the fields. And I mean, it goes deep, and it sounds crazy, and it sounds ludicrous. And I mean, people probably think I'm crazy for talking about this stuff, but
Doesn't sound
there's
crazy to me.
there's actual books on. There was a Dutch author in the 1700s. He wrote 7 books, and I can't pronounce his name. It's Juice. I can't pronounce it anyway. The woman that I talked to, her name is Lisbeth. She lives in Poland. She was run out of the Netherlands. Her sister actually went through that sacrificial ritual when she was young, and it made her crazy. I mean, she's literally evil.
I was gonna bring that up, man. Like, I would think that like some people, it wouldn't take. You know what I mean? And like some of them, it would just drive them insane.
It does. That's why you have all these suicides, like the 27 Club, like all these freaking musicians who kill themselves. All of that, it all stems back to what they go through when they're a child, and that sodomy and stuff, and they can't. And also, the part about whenever it fractures their brain, there's a process called the momus mouth lock. Something happens during those rituals where they're tortured so bad that they're so terrified to speak on it that they couldn't speak about it even if they wanted to.
Yeah,
they're not capable
because the trauma.
So yeah, hold on. So what you're telling me is that, so you brought up the 27 Club and stuff. So you're telling me Janis Joplin from Port Arthur, Texas, went through this ritual when she was a kid, and she became a musician, and then that was one of the reasons that she killed herself, or overdosed and stuff like that, and died in the 27 Club, was because she had went through something like that. We don't do that here in Texas, sir.
Well, listen, there's
she's
another
from Texas.
aspect to it too. It's all hard. It's got to do also with this freaking weird phenomenon going on today too. This trans investigation, where they think all these people in Hollywood are transgender and whatever. Certain ones are. Janis Joplin was a man, brother.
Or hermaphrodites.
Yeah, well, there's only a certain group of them that are true hermaphrodites, like certain lineage or certain royalty or certain. I don't know the specifics of it.
So that's my thing. Is that's why I brought her up specifically, because it's her history and her childhood is a very well documented thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's she didn't grow up in an affluent household. She didn't grow up with wealth. She didn't grow up around royalty or anything like that. She's not a part of some royal lineage or anything like that. She was some little girl that grew up in Port Arthur, poor, and discovered that she could write some little songs and stuff like that. Couldn't really sing that well, honestly, if you're just being honest. But she sang with a lot of emotion, and it resonated with people, and she got popular. So
that's the story.
Got heavy into drugs and stuff like that. So I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here.
I know that. I know that.
So
that's the story that was told.
Well, I mean, yeah, but but my thing is this: is you can sit here and say that's the story that was told, and then I can choose to accept that, oh well, that's a good point, or I can go yeah, that's the story it was told because this is the true story of her life. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it's just, so I tell that to other people. You can't make a broad claim. You can't make a claim and then not be able to back it up with anything. That's what Archaix is kind of all about. You know what I mean? And like this community, like the Errant community in
Forces.
particular, we back our stuff up. We don't just make a bunch of crazy claims and then
I
like
can
not
back it
back it
up.
up. Now,
It's
so
it's
that's the
backed
thing
up.
is like, so and I'm not saying that like what you're saying generally is incorrect. Like whenever it comes to like the Dutch royal family and like
It's in the
these other
literature.
royal families and stuff like that, and that's cool. But like I'm whenever you isolate particulars, uh, like I'm not going to say that Janis Joplin herself was a part of it or Kurt Cobain was a part
Yeah,
of it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
like what I'm saying is like you're throwing like
It's a
things
broad
like the
spectrum.
27 Club into this conspiracy that could very well be true. You know what I'm saying? Like the conspiracy
Mhm.
itself could very well be true, and it probably is very well documented and has a lot of data to back up its validity. Now,
Mhm.
where it gets a little thrown off for me is whenever you start trying to grab these other things and throw it in as evidence towards that, that particular conspiracy. So,
Mhm.
that's the thing is it's like not everything is a part of every conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like there
Oh, I
are,
agree.
big conspiracies, that have happened throughout our, history and that are still going on. But not
Yeah.
everything is a part of it. And like you made a good point. So I know people who I talk with on a very regular basis. And I'm not going to throw them under the bus on here, but what I will say is that they believe that every single person in Hollywood that is a female on screen was born a
Yeah.
male, and that
Yeah.
every male was born a female. Every single one of them. All right. So I always kind of counter their argument because like I have family members that moved to California
Yeah.
to like the San Francisco area and became actors and stuff like that. And I've known them. I knew them their whole
Mhm.
lives. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't born like he wasn't born a woman.
Yeah.
Now he was gay, but
Yeah.
he wasn't
Yeah.
born a woman. He was just a gay man, you know what I mean? And became an actor and like enacted in some stuff from childhood on up into, he ended up dying. Like he had a like heart disease stuff, so he ended up dying pretty
Yeah.
pretty early in life. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like so, I always kind of counteract. It's like there are people that knew these people when they were children. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
make the claim that like every single now is some of them. Yeah, I'd
Yep.
be willing to say yes. There are
Yeah.
some Hollywood actors and actresses that are trans that are um, even possibly to push the whole agenda of like trying to get straight people to be attracted to like a trans
Yeah.
person. You know what I mean? Whether they know it
Yeah.
or not, your brain
Yeah.
becomes attracted to the things that it becomes attracted to, the things that are pushed in
Yep.
media, especially if you're not if you're not too deep of a thinker. So
Yeah.
like I get it like some of these conspiracies are real, but let's not just say that they encompass everything in the entire world. Like
Yeah.
we have to play devil's advocate on some things, and we have to use critical thinking on others.
Yep.
So um, yeah, I don't know, but I'm
I,
with you. I'm with you. I'm on board with the whole like
I think a lot
I don't know
of
that
that.
I don't know that you made the claim that like 90% of the Dutch people are these like
Oh, that's
biological clones. And so, like, I would have to see some data on that. Now, if you said all of the royal family is, I'd be a little more willing to go, yeah, probably. You know what I mean?
they
Because I've
are.
seen them. I've seen them.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I
are.
mean? Like, they look like fucking
Yeah.
clones. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Um, I think a lot of that trans investigation or whatever, like you got people that have YouTube channels that are specifically that's all they put out is like about trans investigation, and I think a lot of that is a psyop or whatever, but I think the majority of it is it has a purpose behind it, and I think that goes back to whoever this group of people that really run the show. Their end goal, like I said, was to they're a brotherhood, and they want to get rid of everything that isn't what they want. And I think that trans investigation is just a means to an end to find single gendered people. That's my theory
Yeah.
on that whole trans investigation thing. I mean, of course, it's
Um,
impossible for the entire spectrum of Hollywood to be flip flopped. I mean, come on now,
yeah,
that would be that's
it
too
takes a
obvious. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it takes I don't know, it would take a lot of evidence to
Oh yeah.
like some real solid shit too, like to convince me of that. Um,
Yep.
so there's another thing I wanted to bring up, and I think Jahara, I think me and you have talked about this before. Um, so you brought up earlier, Jamie, that there's a lot of things, like especially in the media, like the Diddy stuff and the
Mm-hmm.
like the Epstein stuff. Like a lot of that is like almost like a psyop to keep you distracted from what's really going on. So
Yeah.
if that on that level could be a distraction. And I brought it up to you before, and you had some pretty cool things to say about it, Jahara. Um, like Jason talks about like AIX, and its purpose is to kind of keep you like in your lane, keep you in your box, keep you, distracted from what's really going on, and keep you focused on like your particular little life, and keep
Hmm.
you from realizing that you have the ability to kind of create your life into whatever you want it to be. So it puts all these obstacles and stuff like that in your way to that we just call life, you know, that that keep you there. Now, it would have to work a little harder for a deeper thinker. All right. So a person that gets into these conspiracies and starts to uncover things that are true, wouldn't it have the ability to create other like seemingly deep conspiracies to throw that person off? You've already proven
Or
that
rabbit
you're a
holes.
deeper thinker than
Creates
most,
rabbit holes.
and that you've started to kind of uncover these other true things. Now I'm going to send like a red herring your way that seems real true, and it may have some truth in it, but I'm going to manipulate it in a way that it's just going to distract you, and it's going to bring you off the path that you're on, that path of truth that you're finding true things. I'm going to throw you one out there, and it's going to divert you off of that path. Wouldn't you agree that would be a thing that it would be able to do?
You're talking to me or him?
You
Oh, I thought so. I was
both.
just no, I agree. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree for sure. I mean, like sometimes I think like people go down rabbit holes because that rabbit hole is being created for them. Like it's gonna if that's what
Yeah.
you're like, it's like an algorithm. If that's what you're into, like that's what it's gonna feed you. You know,
Yep.
it's a big
Yep.
old
Yeah. So I think there are
algorithm.
like, so what do they call it? Like a feedback loop, echo chamber.
Hmm.
So it's almost like if you're not caught in the mainstream echo chamber, you'll get caught in one of the different conspiracy echo chambers.
Hmm.
And, you know, some of it might be true and some of it might not. But at the end of the day, it was created for you to fall into to keep you here on a certain level. So, like
Yep.
the one example that I like to use is the whole argument between flat Earth and round Earth. It's like, so what does it matter? Like at a
Yeah,
Exactly.
certain
it does
point,
matter.
you get to a point where if you can agree it's a simulated Earth, what does it matter if it's flat or if it's round?
I
It
think it's
Yep.
doesn't,
whatever
right?
you want, whatever people
Yeah,
think it is. They're always going to be able to prove it
so that's
Yep.
the
in their
thing.
own
Is
way.
like in that,
Exactly.
They can only go so
like
far.
what you were saying a while ago is like the algorithms online, if you're searching for the evidence for flat Earth, is going to
Yeah,
show you
it's
evidence
happening in real life.
to prove flat Earth. And if vice versa, if you are a person that believes that the Earth is round and you're looking online for evidence of that, the algorithm is going to
Yeah,
give you the evidence to prove,
and then that's going
that
to
the
be your
Earth is round,
reality.
and that's going to be
Yep.
your reality, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, but the thing is the actual reality is that it's just a simulation.
Hmm.
So what does it matter? Like, So I'm going to give you evidence of round Earth. I'm going to give you evidence of flat Earth, and then I'm going to let you fuckers argue about it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And you know, it's going to distract you from the fact that it's simulated anyways. You know what I mean? So, and I think even simulation theory, because it's gotten so popular in the last, like, say, 20 to 25 years, maybe even 30 years, I
Yep.
think that it's even starting to become weaponized. You know, like,
Mhm.
Yep.
there are
Yep.
things, parts of it that you can kind of get into that, like, it'll bring you completely around to, a place that you didn't even think that you were going, whenever you started researching and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think it's just
I think that's
having
like
discernment, like having that discernment to say, okay, like I'm this is true, it rings true, because
in,
most of
intuition.
us, most of us know the truth when we come across it, and sometimes you
Hmm.
can get a little distracted from it. But like
Yeah.
whenever you hear something and it is the truth, it almost like resonates with you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
so I think we can get lost and we can lose that ability to find the thing that's resonating. It's almost like we're walking in the dark with our hand out,
Mhm.
and we're looking for that vibration, to feel with your hand, or
Yep.
and you could miss it. You could miss it, and then
Yeah.
you feel it, and you start walking that way, and then it starts slightly going to a different direction, and then you
Yep.
miss it again. You know what I mean? So I think, you know keeping your focus on your discernment will keep you on that right path. So
Yep.
I don't know. I try not to get all caught up in those online arguments and stuff like that, because I know that they're just a distraction.
Yeah.
And then you have these people that keep you distracted, like um Alex Jones and um David Icke. I mean that's just people that I personally think that are put in front of people to give, and they are really they're well spoken, they're persuasive, they tell you a lot of truth, but they mix in just enough bullshit to where they never even come close to sniffing a conclusion. They
So
always
do
keep
you
you guessing. They always
do
keep
you
you
think people
from
like that are always like? Do you think that they know that that's what they're doing,
100%,
or do you think that, like,
100%.
there are people that are? Do you think that there are people that get to that level and they don't know necessarily that, like, that's just
Yeah,
the evidence that they found? You know what I mean? And they're
Mhm.
yeah,
presenting you
yeah,
the evidence that they found, and
yeah,
they don't know that they're giving you BS, but
Yeah.
that's
I
just what
agree.
they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, I think you think that maybe there's a mix of that. Like, there are people that are really giving you stuff,
it's like a
that
blurry line.
to
Yeah,
distract you. You know what I mean? And they know that they're doing it. They're doing it on purpose. Like,
exactly.
I don't know who they are. Like, it would be helpful to know who those people are.
Russell Brand. I mean, it's obvious that cat
That
knows
dude,
exactly what he's doing.
that
Just like
dude,
Alex Jones. Yeah, he knows what he's
he
doing.
doesn't resonate with me at all, man. Russell Brand,
Yeah.
Pump,
from his very
pump.
first freaking, like
I can't. Yeah.
I don't know, when he started getting popular, I watched a
Yep.
couple of his videos and I was like, nah, bud, nah, nah,
I
this
think
feels weird to me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I think that's why Jason
um,
is going so hard on this on my lunch break right now, because he's taken the time to pay attention to him, and now he's. I mean, you know how Jason is. Once he locks in on something, he's going to just tear it down, and he's going to find out. And I think he's found out that this guy's full of shit, and so many people are being conned by this guy that Jason is taking it personal, and he's like, I think he's really fixing to put this guy on blast and make people
so I
make
don't
people
know
see
that
that
he
he's full
has.
of it.
So I haven't talked to him about the
No,
My Lunch Break guy very much, but
I think it's pissed him off.
so
Yeah,
so what will piss Jason off, and what I've witnessed piss him off in the past, is that if he starts looking into your information, into your data, and he sees things like that are obviously you giving misinformation, and you're doing it on purpose. Like,
Twisting it.
if he can prove that you're doing it on purpose, then that'll piss him off, because
It should.
that's the total opposite of what he's about. Like,
Exactly.
Jason makes mistakes, and he'll admit to his failings, and he'll admit whenever he's wrong about something. He's done it on numerous occasions.
Yep.
He does that because he's open to like learning new things and changing his data based on new information. It's like I can incorporate this new information into the data that I've collected or whatever, kind of a thing. So it's like,
Yep.
it's I don't know. I don't want to like compare it to like true like science or whatever, but it's kind of what it is. It's like you've got to be objective.
Yeah. You got to have an
So
especially when you get to the point to where Jace is at, and you've got so many people that look up to you or put so much of their own time and faith in what you're saying is true. I mean, it's rare.
which that was
And
always kind of
the
weird to me,
truth,
that there's
it's
a lot of people
rare.
that put a lot of faith into what he says. But the thing
Yeah.
is like he's like, I don't know, like he's never required that, you know what I mean? Like he always
Yeah.
backs everything up. He's like, hey, this is where
Yep.
I got it from. This is the page that it's on. This is the author. This is the name of the book. You know
Yeah,
what I
go
mean?
check
Like
it
go
out.
and read it for yourself. Yeah, just go and check
Yep.
it out. Yeah, just you go read it for yourself. And if you see something that I didn't see, let me know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like that's the thing.
That's
It's
what's so
like
rare.
it's it's what's got me, on board with a lot of the things that he says. Now,
Yeah.
I will say there are some videos that he puts out that where it is like I'm just giving it to you briefly. I'm not going into the data. I'm going to give it to you in like almost a narrative form, and you can choose to accept that, which he's
Make
got
up
a
your own
track
mind.
record of being able to, like you can accept it for what it is, because he's got that 10-minute video that he puts out of like a little narrative. He's got 15 3-hour long videos where he gives you all the data that backs up what he says in that 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
he has built a track record of holding to the truth and as he sees it, and
Yep.
presenting it in a way that resonates with a lot of people. So
Yep.
yeah, I will say that while it is kind of weird to see people like put faith in my buddy, you know what I mean? I guess I kind of do it in a certain way too. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but you can do that with people that have got a good track record.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's just so many
um,
dishonest people out here that, I
well,
mean,
and there are.
and they come across as a meaning well, and I don't mean to keep harping on this on my lunchbox or whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of people that, like with Martin and his research on flat Earth British and the Tartaria and all stuff. I mean, Martin was talking about this stuff 10 years ago when people
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't
shoot, some of it longer than that. Yeah,
it wasn't the norm. I mean, you didn't hear about it, but just every now and again. And now it's everywhere. It's every channel you go to, and then you got people that are street smart and they're grifters, and they latch on to something big like that, like the Tartarian narrative or the flat Earth narrative or whatever, and they weasel their way in, and they come in and they just completely take advantage and manipulate people that their only knowledge is from Facebook or from Google or whatever. And
yeah.
that's
Watching
I
other
think
people's YouTube videos and stuff.
I
Yeah,
Yeah.
think I think Jason takes a lot of that personal and wants to set the record right in a lot of occasions where he sees that grift and he picks up on it. And then he sees people from the Archaix community that are vibing with that bullshit, and that's when he chooses to step in and
Um,
maybe make it right, sort of. I mean, that's my take
I
on it.
think what he does is like when people present to him uh, information enough times, enough people within the community present it to him, it almost
Yeah.
becomes like he can't ignore it
Why?
anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I
It's like
mean? It's
why?
like, well, okay, why is this being presented to me over and over and over again? Let me look into it. And then he'll look into
Yeah.
it. And sometimes he'll see, oh wow, this has got some like real merit. It's got a lot of
Hmm.
data to back it up. Um, Let me do a video on it. And he will. He'll do a video on it and he'll present it and it'll be like, hey, this is what this is. This is what these people talk about. This is the data to back it up, and this is why it has merit. Um, but then conversely, he'll look into something and it's like, okay, well, this doesn't really have a whole lot of data to back it up. It's got a lot of people online that are making a lot of like big claims that are not
Hmm.
backing it up with any real hard evidence, you know?
Hmm.
So I think that his thing, if you watch his stuff on Tartaria, is not necessarily that he's bashing the Tartarian narrative so much.
Yeah.
What he bashes is the fact that these people seem to agree on there was a cataclysm in the 1800s and there's no historical record to show that. So that's what
Zero.
that he seems
Yeah.
to like his videos seem to kind of hone in on that, not necessarily the like the buildings or the and he shows a lot of pictures and stuff because shit, I mean, you know, he
And the
wants to
false
use
date
all those
lines and
pictures
stuff.
that
Yeah.
I took, you know, he wants to use them 30,000
All that
fucking
hard work.
photos that I took, you know what I mean? So like, you know, he's
Damn
going to
right.
show you some pictures out of old books, especially if you're talking about buildings from a time period that he has books from, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
so that's the thing is like, you know, he's not completely, I guess, dismissing the Tartarian narrative.
Yep.
He's just showing you, hey, uh, not all of it is what they're saying that it is. You know,
Because
like
some of it
this
is
these
unexplainable. I mean,
particular buildings, like there is records of these buildings being built and how they were built and material acquisition and like records of like workers being paid and like quarries that are the stone were was purchased from like there's records of this stuff. So it's like maybe Tartaria is a thing, but this building probably wasn't a part of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really feel like his focus was on the whole cataclysm in the 1800s that just simply did not happen.
Yeah.
You know,
And then,
see, we went full circle, and now we're doing archaic stuff.
Oh shit. Always come back around.
I mean,
damn it.
that's the thing, though. Is like it seems like that's just the way it goes. It's like it doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
start; you always kind of end up on an archaics
Mhm.
trip. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the
Okay, I'll
point,
be right
right?
back. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. You guys,
Okay.
give me a minute.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, there was a guy.
kind of a
Uh, and we talked about it uh, a little bit earlier about there's people who try to cause friction or separation among people like Jason and Martin and other people. And I don't know if they do it out of spite or out of jealousy or just out of pure
well.
meanness or
I
boredom or
think what it
what,
is
but
like they there are a lot of people out there that are trying
confusion.
to well they're trying to like um get people to stop watching Archaix, stop watching Jason, stop listening to Jason's data and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing is that they can never attack his data
yep,
because it's unimpeachable, dude. Like
yeah,
you can't attack that
yep.
data. So what you do is whenever he puts out a
They
video
resort.
like talking about Tartaria, well,
Yep.
then what they'll do is they'll say, well, if you don't believe in Tartaria, why are you friends with Martin? If you don't believe in the flat earth, why are you friends with Martin and stuff like that? And it's like,
And that's
look,
what
man,
they're
those
doing.
things are not well,
Yep.
they're not mutually exclusive. Like I
I
can be
know it.
friends with somebody and not believe everything that they believe, or I can, say, hey, there may be some, validity
Exactly.
to some of the things that you say about these things,
Exactly.
and you know, it may not be what exactly, all these other people are saying about it. Now, the thing is like what you were saying earlier, Martin has been
Yes.
at this Tartaria stuff and this flat earth stuff for a very, very long time.
Yep.
So his opinions about that stuff hold a lot more weight than a person who started a YouTube channel 6 months ago and all their
Yep.
data comes from old Martin videos. You know what I'm
Bingo.
saying? So
Yes.
that's the thing is it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say that this person over here, yeah, you don't hold any weight. Your arguments don't hold any weight. But
Yep.
I can still talk to Martin about it because he has intelligent things to say about it. And he has a
Yes.
lot of data to back up those intelligent things that he says.
Yep.
Now, do I just jump right on board with everything that everybody says, even Martin? Maybe not. But that
Yep.
doesn't mean that I can't be friends with that person and that I can't have that
Exactly.
person on, my channel, and I can't, have that person fly in and speak at, the events that we do and stuff like that.
Yep.
The things are not mutually
Yep.
exclusive. It's
Yep.
almost as if they're saying like, if you don't believe in flat earth, you can't be friends with flat earthers. If you don't
Yeah.
believe in Tartaria, you can't be friends with people that believe in Tartaria. If it's
It's guilty
stupid.
by
It's like it'd be
association.
like
Yeah.
me saying like I'm not a Christian, so I can't talk to anybody in my family anymore because they're all Christians.
Yep.
I'd be a damn fool. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it's not mutually exclusive, man. Like
I
I
know
can
it.
do both. I can not
Yep.
believe in the Christian God and at the same time still love my mom. You know what I mean? And want to have something
Yeah.
to do with her. You know,
That's right.
it
That's right.
it's foolish to think that everything is so black and white. Like
Yep.
when you can look around and all I see when I look around are shades of gray. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't view things. I think me and you have talked about this before. You said that you tend
Yeah,
to
we
be a
did.
little bit more of a black and white thinker,
Yeah.
whereas
On,
I dude, I see shades of
on a
gray everywhere.
personal level, I tend to like on a personal level, like on a friendship level, on a family level. To me, it's black and white. I don't have
Okay.
time or room for any gray area. But on things like social media or um other stuff like we're talking about now, you got to have some leniency and make room for some gray area, or nobody's going to come to a conclusion, or nobody's ever. It's going to constantly be a button of heads if you don't learn how to accept things that only you hold true. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah,
got to.
absolutely.
You've got to.
Well, and that's the thing is, look, Jamie, like we've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes now, and we actually
Mm-hmm.
had quite a about this long of a discussion before we even started recording. And
I know.
and then the other day, shoot, we sat on here and talked for a few
Hour.
hours, and at least an
Yep.
hour. So
Yep.
that's the thing, though, is like you can tell me these things that you've researched, that you've done a lot of, like, you've spent a lot of your time on and stuff like that researching. You can
Mm-hmm.
tell me these things. Do you expect me to go, oh yeah, you're absolutely right,
No.
100%, I believe you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, what you
Yep.
expect me to do is to go and do a little bit more research and then come back and we'll talk about it some more. You know what I'm saying? But in the
Yep.
meantime, just because I don't necessarily jump right on the clone train or whatever it is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That doesn't mean that you're going to stop being my friend. You know what I mean?
I hate you.
So I hate you, Big
Yeah.
John. You
You
suck because you don't
dickhead.
believe exactly what I tell you. As soon as I tell it to you,
Exactly.
it's stupid, man. It's stupid to think that. And
Yep.
people hype this stuff up online, especially with the Jason thing. It's like, why does he associate with these people, but then he talks about these people over here? If he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
believe in it, he shouldn't associate with anybody in those realms. And it's like, well, that's dumb because like the reason I don't associate with this person over here is because they think like you do. They think that everything's black and white and they don't want nothing to do with me because I don't accept their narrative. All right. but Martin accepts me whether or not I do. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? He's going to be my
Yep.
friend regardless if I believe what he believes or not. And
Yep.
that's why I'm friends with him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I know exactly what you mean.
it's so dumb, dude. It's so dumb that people get on there and it's like the only realm that they can even attack him on is this,
Yep.
because they can't attack him on his personal life or his criminal history or anything like that, because it's all public record. He's
Yep.
told you all about it. You know what I
And
mean?
they still
And he's
try.
gained acceptance.
Oh
He's
yeah.
gained acceptance regardless
Yeah.
of, you
That
know,
drives me
that
crazy.
those things.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you can't. I dare anybody to attack his dad. Just try. Just
Nobody
try.
has yet.
I'm gonna look in the
That's just
camera
right.
real quick. Just try. When Eric, when, in a little while, there's going to be a guy named Eric, and he's going to have a big truck. And y'all seen it on like some of the Archaix stuff. It was in San Diego one time. That big truck,
Yeah.
yeah. Eventually, he's going to like issue the Archaix challenge. If you can write a whole thesis out, you know, based on like, you know, agreed upon like legal rules or whatever, um,
Mm-hmm.
and you can debunk anything within the Archaix realm of, you know, data. If you can debunk it and like and prove that it is incorrect, that Jason is wrong, he'll give you that truck.
I
Mm-hmm.
love that truck.
Give it to you.
God damn it. I
Give
wish
it
I
to you.
could.
Prove Jason wrong, you can have it.
That's a sweet ride, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
No, you
that's
can't
the
prove him
thing.
wrong. That's why nobody will debate him.
Yeah, exactly.
They ain't going to.
Hey, I
Now,
was thinking about
so
something that
oh,
um, Jahara said earlier about the human being able to um adapt to different surroundings or whatever, and it just popped into my head a while ago while she was gone. I don't know why, but the people who live way up high in the Andes Mountain, the Nepal people, the Indians up
Mhm.
there, their genome has is completely different from any other human on Earth because of where they live, like that high up in the mountains with that.
Yeah, the
That
elevation and the weather and the
yeah,
climate.
their lungs and their genetics are different from any other group of people on Earth because they have their bodies have adapted
Yeah.
to that elevation naturally. No
Hmm.
manipulation by any kind of AI or
Yeah,
whatever.
because they've been up there.
It
We
happened
and we.
organically. So
That's why we
yeah,
can't like just go up there and just survive. Like it's nothing. Like we'd be too cold. We'd
exactly.
be all fucked up.
Yep.
Wouldn't be
And
able
I
to
think
breathe.
well,
that's
so
got a lot
that's
to
the
do
thing
with
though, is like your theory on adaptation versus evolution kind of
yeah.
holds true in this
That's
realm though.
right.
So it's like, so what if you were to go there, you might have a hard time for a while,
Yeah,
but
I mean, you
eventually
Exactly.
can
you would
adapt.
adapt
Yeah.
to the climate, you would adapt to the
Hmm.
elevation, and your body would adjust itself to where you could stay there. All
And if you
right.
had
Yep.
kids up
Um,
there, then your kids would be
then they would,
already
you know,
adapted.
their genomes would change. Now, it wouldn't take you 100,000 years to do it either.
Mhm.
It would probably be a year, 2 years, and then you'd be
Yep.
fully
I think if
adjusted
that
and
was the
you'd be
case,
living up
then
there like they do.
then humans wouldn't exist if it took that
Yeah.
long. Because how would you survive? You know, people have always survived, obviously, because we're still here.
Well, and that's the thing
But
is like they talk about humans were constantly on the move. You know what I mean? Back in
uh-huh.
the day, they're constantly on the move.
Hmm.
So um, if you're moving from one climate into another,
Hmm.
uh, you have to be able to adapt to that new
Yep.
Yeah.
climate. You know what I mean? If you move
Yep.
from, you know, uh, a climate that's, you know, more like a I guess like a jungle type, you know, climate, and
Tropical.
you move up, yeah, tropical climate, and you go up towards the mountains, uh,
Uh-huh.
you know, and you move into
Well, what
that
about
higher elevation with the
when we
cold
were
weather and
me, you and Jason were going to San Diego? Like I'm Californian, so this doesn't bother my nose or anything. And like you guys were like, oh, my nose is so dry. As soon as we
Mhm.
started
Oh
getting close to
yeah,
California.
because of the just because the humidity was lower is all it
Yep.
Yeah,
was.
and it was
I'm so
bothering
used
you
to
guys. Like you guys were like
yeah, I'm
all
so used to
burning.
freaking 65% plus humidity where I live
Yeah,
here in Texas, in
see, it's
Southeast
just little
Texas,
things like that.
you
But I
know.
mean,
I
my
went
nose
out to
wasn't
California,
dry.
Southern
Yeah,
California, dude, and it was like it's what like 20% humidity, 25% humidity,
less
dude.
probably.
After a couple of days, the whole inside of my nose was chapped. Like it was terrible.
It's like a shock to
Terrible.
your system. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the thing is so I lived in Abilene, Texas for a little while. It's in like kind of West Texas.
Where
It's
it's
more
not
like
so humid. Yeah,
more of
it's
like a desert climate. Yeah,
mhm,
because like you'll get days there where it's the humidity's in
yeah.
the teens, you know what I mean? Like as far as percent.
The
And
humidity seems to
like
be
it's
like central Texas east, all the way east. That's where it's like
yeah,
starts
yeah.
picking up. We
The
get closer to
worst. Yeah, it's the
Louisiana.
worst. Well, yeah, Louisiana's even worse than we are here in Southeast Texas. But
Hmm.
just going from Southeast Texas to Abilene, like I was there for a year and a half, and within the first couple of months, my nose stopped doing that. I started getting
Hmm.
used to drinking more water just naturally. You know, I just naturally kind of adapted to the climate. And I actually really ended up liking it because the humidity was low. So like what you were talking about earlier, Jamie, like going outside and you're just like drenched in sweat. That's the way it is
Yeah.
here. You just get
Yeah.
drenched in
Hmm.
sweat and you're just wet the rest of the
Can't
day. If you're
dry
It
off.
outside, you're just
sucks
wet. Yeah, it
and
sucks.
uncomfortable.
So
Yeah.
living in that drier climate, it wasn't like that. Now, did I have to remember to drink water a little more often? Yeah, I had to remember
Hmm.
that because there was a couple of times I almost passed out because you know
Yep.
you're sweating, it's just evaporating so fast that you don't feel it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you don't have that. So I really liked it. It's just I had to adapt to the climate a little bit. So yeah, I dig it. I'm on board with that, Jahara.
And
Yeah,
that also explains the different, like the epochs of time, like after reset or pre-reset or post-reset and stuff. When everything is so different, like again, Jason's thesis and stuff, like on the vapor canopy and how
yeah.
everything is completely different.
Everybody got
And
bigger, like they're giants,
yeah,
and like why they didn't get sick as easy,
yeah,
or they weren't
the
getting
humans
radiated on.
always adapt. They
Hmm.
always adapt.
Yeah,
And whether
that's why
that's
we're still here.
him growing to freaking gargantuan size or down to what we are now, I mean, yeah, that pretty much backs up the we adapt and puts the evolutionary
Yeah.
thing
And I think that
down a
like
chart.
also that's
Yeah,
why there's all that junk DNA. So they say this dormant DNA. It's because that like
exactly.
DNA will activate when you're in certain
Yes, I
like
believe that.
like climates or certain like surroundings. Like then that
Yeah,
like
I
some of
believe
that
that.
dormant DNA might turn on, and then some might turn off.
I
I don't
believe
know if it
that.
ever it turns off, maybe, but like, but I think that's why there's that, just dormant DNA. It's like, oh, it's junk DNA. It's like, no, it's just we don't need to use that right now. So it's turned
Yeah,
off.
like the environment on this planet right now is not such that we need
Yeah.
any of that. But at
Yep.
some later time or some past time,
Yeah.
the environment was slightly different. Like there was more, say, nitrogen in the
That's
air, so
that's
that
why, like I
this
said,
other
there was like
DNA was
different
on at that time.
types of humans at one time because like their DNA, but like maybe I mean their DNA was probably like active to that's why they looked
Yep.
a certain way or why, they were built a certain way. It's just like
And
it's
if
just
you
like
go
activation.
underground,
DNA is just like activation code. That's all it is.
yep, like if you go underground, like we're supposed, I personally think that's what happened to Inky Enoch. I think he went underground. And I mean, obviously, if you spend years and years and years and years underground, it's going to change your DNA and it's going
Yeah.
to change your genetics, and that's what the human body does. That's how wonderful and divine the
It's
human
like that
body
movie The
is.
Descent. Have you seen The Descent when they're in the caves
Yes,
and like those
yes.
humanoid
I don't
like
think I've seen that one.
you've never seen The Descent?
No, I don't
Oh,
think
you need to.
so.
It's good.
Wow, you have to see that movie
When did it come
Yep.
out?
a
Is it
long time
old?
ago.
Yeah, it
Um
was back in like the late
Early
80s, maybe.
2000s or something, like
Oh,
2000. Let me look it up. Look it
Oh,
up
it was
real
older
quick.
than that.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. But that movie's kind of fucking. It's pretty freaky. 2005.
Oh,
Damn, I
okay.
was way off. I must have been about something different.
2005.
What?
What was I doing in 2005? I don't know. I was 24. I was probably getting drunk. No.
It's a good
What
movie.
was that a movie about now? I'm thinking something else. I think.
The Descent
The
is when
Descent?
those chicks go into the cave. They're like, they discovered like a cave, so they decided to go in there with all their equipment and shit, just doing a bunch of shit that regular people wouldn't do. And they get kind of like lost or something down there, but there's like a whole like kind of like humanoid species that lives down there, and they're all like kind of white and freaky looking, kind of bat like.
Yeah.
They can't see because they like have been down there in the dark, so they go off of like
Oh, so
hearing and shit.
like those
Like the sleep stacks.
like the mole rats and stuff like that they find down there and that are blind and they have like
Yeah,
white
but it's like
skin
people,
because
and they're like, trying to kill these chicks down there and eat them or whatever. But
Oh,
like
weird.
they can't see, so they're like being hella still and shit, but they can hear, and they're like
Wow.
crawling all over the walls and shit. But they're just like,
What?
it's like obvious, it's like some type of people that have just been down there for so long. They're like,
freak out.
it's a weird movie. It's good though. It starts
That's
off really
weird-
good too. People die
Weird
as soon as it
stuff, man.
starts. So it's a good movie.
Oh, no kidding.
Mhm.
Oh, is
Weird stuff
that's
in
what
the
makes a
world.
good movie, Jahara?
Oh yeah,
Instant death.
horrible too the way it goes down. Mhm. It's like the movie kind of starts and you're just like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on here. And then it's like, oh shit.
Damn.
Oh my god.
And then like
I'll
it gets into
check
the
that one out for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty. It like gets you in the beginning. It's good. It's a good movie. It's weird.
I'll
Like
check it out.
freaked a lot
The
of people
Descent.
out.
Okay.
A lot of people like put that on their like scariest movie. I only watch horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
know.
gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's a good movie. They made a part 2, but I didn't watch it because it's like, it's one of those movies that they didn't need to make part 2. And then
really?
Yeah, there's like 2 different endings too. The one that they showed here was different than, I don't know if like I don't know, I don't remember, but like I think I seen it with like the original ending that like because they tried to like clean up the ending here or something like that to make it more like, oh, she got away.
Oh,
she really
okay.
didn't.
So
But yeah. They do those alternate endings per country type weird shit, but
yeah.
Like if you see it, you'll see it with like the better ending, which is like the worst one. The one that has the more negative outcome. Yeah.
Alternate
The
ending
worst
that,
ending.
Will Smith movie where Legend, I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
I saw some clips the other day, and it was like a totally different ending.
Yeah. Sometimes they just decide on a different ending.
Yeah,
too, and like cool, sometimes like other countries will just have like a different ending or.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's like I want to say that the original movie that came out, they did an ending that was different than the book, and so I think that the ending that you're talking about is they reshot the ending that actually happened in the book or something like that.
Yeah, where he broke through the glass
ending.
and saved this woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. There are people that are probably listening to this right now going, no, that's not the way it was.
Well,
so there's actually kind of going back to the AI thing. There's a movie that just came out. It's called Companion, and so it's like a companion robot. And so it's actually got the guy. I don't know if you're familiar with the show The Boys on Amazon. It's like
I love it. I love that show.
Oh yeah, great show. So the guy that played Huey, he's the main character in this movie, right? So he buys this robot, and it's like a companion robot, and it does all this stuff. And so like it's like a robot that is programmed to actually be in love with you and stuff. So it's like your real companion or whatever. Yeah. And so like I guess it gets like way too obsessive. And it freaks
There's another
him out.
one that's exactly like that. That has that same plot too. That also came out at the same time, or like maybe it was last year, and I watched it with Megan Fox.
This one just came out this year. Like
But that was she was supposed to be a maid
no.
in Subservient.
So
No, but there is one
Subservient,
called
yeah.
Companion too. But Subservient is the one where she's supposed to be kind of like a maid and like helps with
That's
the
the one
kids
with
and
Megan
stuff.
Fox.
That's the one with Megan Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, Megan
And then
Fox. I just watched that one the other night, actually. Yeah. So Companion, like it.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
seen the
still,
preview for
like
Companion. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, like it just come out. Like it just come out. It's still like you can't even watch it for free. You have to like buy it. You know what I mean? Like on Amazon still. So like unless you like
Stream it for free. I give you a website.
do what I do, you know, we do the pirate thing, you know.
Yeah,
put
that's
my
what I
eye patch on
said.
real quick.
Stream it from a
Yeah,
website.
put my little eye patch on, you know, watch the movie. You know?
Oh God.
But yeah, no, I need to watch that one. I was interested in it, but like so did you watch it, Jara, the companion movie?
I watched the one with
Have you seen
Megan
it?
Fox.
Oh no, yeah, that's Subservient. I
I
watched
didn't
that
watch
the other night,
Companion yet.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah, I want to
haven't
watch
watched
that one.
Companion yet. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch it.
supposedly like in Companion, it like he gets really obsessed with her, and it's like to the point where he's like, hey, like he like flat tells her like, you know, you're a robot, right? And she's like, no, what are you talking about? You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
it's he's
That's
like,
when it
you're like
shows her like she's her arms on fire and shit, right? Like, did you see
I don't
that part
remember
of the
that.
preview?
I don't remember that
I've
part of
seen that in the preview.
the trailer or whatever, but I don't know. There's like 2 or 3 trailers. I think I've only seen one of them, but it was good enough. And then like the guy Huey, you know, I don't know what the actor's name is, but the guy that played
Huey.
Huey in The Boys,
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite characters in The Boys. So like he's already
Mine
got enough
too.
acting creds in my book to I'll watch it.
She
But
said,
yeah, I
"What'd
don't
you
know.
do?" He said, "I just
Here lately I've
squeezed
been
my
kind of
butt cheeks
interested
together in
in the
this
whole
theater."
those like AI movies and stuff like that. Like there's one where it's like a home
I seen it. Yeah.
system.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
seen it.
system that you put
Like
in
it
your
fucks
home
with
and it
them.
like
Yeah, I watched
it
that one.
messes with them. Yeah, dude, it like
I can't remember what it
Like
was
the
called.
ring
Yeah,
yeah,
doorbells
man,
come
it's
out.
God, what is
I
that
think
one
I
called?
seen it at the theater. I did see it at the theater. Like, and I don't really go to the theater. I didn't go to the theater to watch that, but I seen that one too. It's like
It was a good one
it's
though
supposed to be
because
like an
they brought it
Amazon,
in the
like
home to test it,
or an Alexa.
and
It's
like
supposed
with
to be
the
like an
daughter,
Alexa.
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like a home, you know, like AI system or whatever
Oh,
that
that movie's it's
like.
pretty interesting. It's an interesting movie, like
No, it's
how it
cool.
all goes
Like
down.
That's
The
probably a real
AI is
thing.
like starts fucking with them when they want to like get rid of it or some shit like that, and starts putting
yeah,
shit
no,
out
it
there
really goes
on
after him.
the
And I
internet
think
and sets them
in
up
that
and
one,
shit.
doesn't it win in the end or something like that? Doesn't it like it kind of
Yeah,
wins in the end? Like
I'm trying to
they get
remember
rid
the
of it,
end
but they really don't. I don't know.
because
It's
like
been a
I'm
while
trying to
since
remember the end.
I've seen it. It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yeah,
But
I don't think they can destroy it. It like it doesn't get like destroyed or whatever.
something like
It's like a
that.
Westworld
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
But yeah,
Westworld's like
that
Yeah.
one was
I haven't seen
pretty.
Westworld. I haven't seen that.
what?
I haven't seen that. Is
Oh,
that good?
it's fantastic,
The show
brother.
Westworld.
Okay. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never
Is that what
seen
you
it.
said? I seen the
I thought
movie
it was
from like the
great.
70s.
I thought it was
Oh,
really, really good. The first 2 seasons are phenomenal. I mean, the rest of it's okay, but the
I
first
think I
are really,
watched
really
an
good.
episode
don't
or
tell me
two, but
that because then I won't watch it because I don't want to like get disappointed. You know what I
no,
mean?
it's a good. It's supposed to be a good show. The movie's pretty
Yeah.
like decent for the 70s too. It's based off of the movie
Yeah.
from the 70s.
Yeah. It's really
Okay.
good.
Maybe I'll check it out. But
They're like these
well,
androids.
seems
Yeah,
like we're
it's pretty
winding
good.
down a little bit. We're starting to talk about movies and shit. So yeah. So
Let me see if I
yeah.
can
All
stream
be
right.
like-
Companion tonight.
Well, this was I guess
be like Jason,
first
I gotta
episode
get
of this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you've been holding it a while there, Jamie. I've been
Yeah.
drinking a lot of water, so yeah.
That's
I'm
why I
right
was
there
like,
with
I'll be back in a minute. So I'm on my second bottle of water.
All right, yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess that's what this is gonna be. Is just like we just talk about whatever. Maybe next time we do it, we'll do like a little bit more where we did touch on archaic stuff. So whoever's on next time, well, maybe I'll kind
We'll
of focus
always
in on
be touching
archaic
on
stuff.
archaic stuff, even if we're not trying to touch on archaic stuff.
Exactly. But
It's been fun.
but yeah,
I've had a good
no,
time.
this was cool.
It was
This was
fun.
a good time. Thank y'all for being on. I appreciate it. Hopefully
Sorry
the
it took
people
me
that are
so long
watching
to
it
get it
enjoyed it.
situated in here.
Yeah, man, it happens.
Yeah, but I got it.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a lot better too, man. I've been sick the last little like 4 or 5 days, and I'm feeling pretty good today. So yeah, I'm glad that we didn't do it yesterday.
Yeah.
But
Hey, are you going to Las Vegas, Jara?
Yeah. It's only like 7 hours away driving.
All right.
I'd be a dick not
It's
to.
gonna be fun.
Right?
I think that's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think it'll be
Yeah.
cool.
For sure.
But
I'm sure
all
there'll
right,
be
well,
some people show
I'm
out.
gonna end the
We can go to
recording
the.
real
Hey, we
quick,
can
guys.
go to the.
Oh Lord,
Man, hell yeah.
I don't know.